What's up, guys? Jake here with JakesGotHerps, not to be confused with herpes. Herpes is nasty, and this is my reptile video contest entry for Treysik. I don't normally enter a lot of contests, but I really like Jason, and he's really cool, and if you watch his videos and you look at his subscribers, it's not really an accurate representation of his content, I think. I think he definitely deserves a lot more subscribers and views than he gets, so if you haven't checked out his channel, I'll put a link right here, and definitely go check that out. And yeah, so without further ado, here is my contest entry. Hello, JakesGotHerps here, wildlife conservation expert, coming at you live from the Everglades of Florida. Today we're going to be looking at one of the most impressive animals in all of the United States, the American alligator. American alligators are one of two alligator species in the family Alligatoridae. There's the American and then there's the Chinese, but we're mainly going to focus on the American for this video because the Chinese alligator at this point is almost extinct. You can find it in East China very rarely. They are not doing so well, but the American alligator, on the other hand, its American counterpart, is doing extremely well. There was a point in time where they were almost extinct, but now they're on a very low risk of being extinct. And scientists and conservationists are not too worried about their population at this point. You can find these guys mainly in the Everglades of Florida. That's where their population thrives the most, in freshwater marshes and swamps. You can also find them on the Atlantic coast of North Carolina, all the way down through the Gulf to near Texas. But again, they do like freshwater, and they are found mostly in swamps and marshes. Alligators are apex predators, meaning that they are at the top of the food chain. Now, a juvenile like this is not really going to be at the top of the food chain quite yet. There are other animals that will make a meal out of an alligator this size, including other alligators. They are cannibals at times, especially during the breeding season. A large male will not hesitate to consume a baby alligator. That's just how they are. But they consume a lot of fish, amphibians, birds, mammals, and other reptiles. They are nocturnal, and they're very well suited for hunting at night, and they do eat a lot of nocturnal mammals such as possums and raccoons, and they eat lots of fish, and basically anything that they can get their jaws on can be a meal for them because they are at the top of the food chain. American alligators generally become sexually mature at around 6 feet in length, although this can vary from alligator to alligator depending on what the climate is at that specific time. An alligator that's in a warmer climate will obviously grow a little bit faster than one that is in a cooler climate. So an alligator in Texas might grow slower, faster, depending on how that relates to the climate in Florida. And also alligators that consume more food will obviously get larger than alligators that do not. And but scientists generally agree that they gain sexual maturity at around 6 feet or so, although they don't generally reproduce at this size because larger dominant males will basically breed most of all the females, so the smaller ones usually don't breed until later in their life anyway. But the breeding season starts in spring. Pitch sort of almost subsonic bellowing noise in their throat, and that seems to attract them. They also do other sort of ritual type things like blowing bubbles and stuff like that. Once a female is gravid, she will generally lay around 20 to 50 eggs, give or take. And if the eggs are incubated at 93 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe that is 34 degrees Celsius, they will hatch out at males. And if it's 86 degrees or cooler, they will generally hatch out as females. And if it's in between, obviously you'll get a mix of both. The eggs generally take around 65 days to incubate, and during this time, the mother will guard them the entire time, which is why alligators have a lot higher rate of hatching out and reaching adult size, as compared to other reptiles, because their mother does guard them while they are in the egg, and even when they are born as babies, their mother will guard them. A lot of the times you'll see mother American alligators, as their babies are hatching, they'll put them in their mouth and carry them to the water to safety, because a lot of the times reptiles like things like turtles will often not make it because they won't make it to the water, and predators are just sitting there waiting to consume them. But that's why alligators have a fairly high rate of becoming mature compared to other reptiles. It's still not a high percentage, but it's better than a lot of reptiles, and they can live quite a long time. A healthy adult will live anywhere from 30 to 50 years, and even longer than that. Unfortunately, because alligators are so prevalent, they do interact with humans quite a bit more than we would like. They are commonly found in urban areas of the southern United States, and it does happen that humans interact with alligators, but they're really not the monsters that people make them out to be. They're really not aggressive towards humans by nature. It's usually a mistake for food, or during the breeding season, if you walked up upon a female's nest, that wouldn't be very good for you. But generally they don't try and make meals out of people, unlike other crocodilians that won't really hesitate to consume a human. And some crocodiles do make some of their meals out of people. Alligators generally do not. There's an average of less than one person a year dies by an alligator, and it's not a very common occurrence. And when it does happen, it's always the human's fault, because a lot of the times people, like little kids, will go to rivers' edges and stuff, and they'll feed these alligators, and they just get used to the food because they are very smart animals. They have a thing in their brain called the cerebral cortex, which does allow them to learn patterns and trends. So if you do feed a wild alligator, chances are it will start to recognize that, and eventually it will mistake you for food. It's just how they are designed. But they're not aggressive towards humans by nature. It's just a mistake on our part that we get attacked. And that's one thing I want to stress, is they're really not monster animals. You should not really fear these animals. I mean, a healthy respect for them, not getting too close at times, and leaving them in their natural habitat is obviously important, but you shouldn't be frightened to death by them if you see one. They're really not that bad. Well, that's all we have for this one, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. It's been JakesGotHerps, wildlife conservation expert, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Alright guys, there's my entry. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun making it, and like I said, I'll leave a link to Jason's channel right here. Definitely go check it out. He's an awesome guy, and really cool of him to put on this contest. And one point I want to make, though, is that care for any animal is not going to be like it is in the wild. There's just really no comparison at all to it. So just because you hear me say something about the care of an alligator in the wild, I guess not the care, that doesn't make sense, but how an alligator lives in the wild doesn't mean that's how it should be replicated in captivity. That's just, it's not at all like it would be in the wild, and that's just one point I wanted to make. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later. Peace.